a former Minneapolis police officer, was convicted of manslaughter after fatally shooting Daunte Wayne Wright last April during a traffic stop. She was sentenced Friday to 2 years imprisonment in Hennepin County. In December, a Hennepin County jury found Kim Potter guilty in first and second-degree manslaughter of shooting Wright, an unarmed black 20-year-old, in Minneapolis Brooklyn Center suburb. Potter, a white woman, said she mistook her gun as a taser and fired on Wright in an attempt to stop him from driving away. According to state guidelines, Potter is only sentenced for the most intense case of first-degree murder. The recommended range is between 6 and 8.5 years. After serving at least 2/3 of their mandatory sentence, those with Minnesota felony sentences can be released. Potter could be released within 16 months. She will also get credit for the 58 days he has already been in custody. According to the judge, Potter committed a tragic error and killed a young man. However, her actions did not aggravate circumstances that would justify a longer sentence. The Jew admitted that her decision was disappointing but insisted it wasn't meant to diminish Wright's achievements. In a statement, Keith Ellison, D. Minnesota Attorney General, called the day a sad event in which there were no losers. Ellison's office was responsible for the special prosecution and said that he accepted the judge's decision and encouraged others to do so. Ellison stated, "I don't ask you for your agreement with her decision. This does not take away the truth of the jury's verdict. It is hurtful for Daunte Wright's loved ones. I ask that we keep Daunte Wright's beauty in our hearts and that we know that no amount of time in prison can ever capture the wonder of his young life." Wright's family, distraught after the hearing was over, expressed their dismay outside the courthouse. The family had asked the judge to give Potter the maximum penalty. Family members took advantage of Potter's trustworthiness as an officer and argued that she could not return to her family or watch her sons reach their life sentence without Wright. K.E. Wright did not mention Potter in her victim impact statement. Instead, she called her the defendant. Wright criticized Potter's inability to render assistance after the shooting immediately. Matthew Frank, the prosecutor, noted that Potter's remorse is not sufficient to merit a more lenient sentence. Wright supporters and family repeatedly invoked Potter's smiling booking photograph taken right after she was convicted to prove her cruelty and lack of remorse. Paul Ang, Potter's attorney, tried to avoid the criticism by insisting that Potter was asked to smile before she took her photo and that it was not meant to show disrespect. Potter finally spoke up and sobbed her way through her short remarks. Wright's family was also apologetic, and she said that she hoped they would forgive her. Wright's murder sparked a national outcry. It happened as Derek Chauvin was being tried in Minneapolis for the murder of George Floyd. Frank, the prosecution in the case, refuted earlier reports that Potter was being sentenced for longer term and stated that it had filed notice with the court to determine aggravating circumstances that Potter was guilty of the crime. Potter's lawyers argued for a lighter sentence for probation. The defense denied Potter a prison sentence and said she would be a walking victim in prison. Armstrong, a civil rights attorney, stated that although Potter's sentence would be harsh, it does not diminish the significance of Potter being convicted, which is rare for police officers. Nekema Levy, a Minneapolis civil rights lawyer and advocate for the Wright families, stated that Potter's sentence would provide some closure. Wright stated, "I will never forgive you for the things you took from us. A police officer, who is supposed to protect and serve us, took so much from us." When Wright was shot to death, the video of the incident caused outrage and anguish. Officers initially pulled Wright over for having expired tags on his vehicle and an air freshener slumping in his rearview mirror. This is illegal in Minnesota. Officers ran Wright's ID and found an outstanding warrant for Wright's arrest for a gross misdemeanor weapons offense. They moved to arrest him. Wright could not escape an officer who tried to handcuff and restrain him. This drew Potter's attention from the outside of the car. Wright's car can be seen pulling away in the video only to crash shortly afterward. Elena Albrecht Payton was sitting in the passenger seat during the incident. The emotional testimony second after the shooting, Wright tried to stop the bleeding from his chest and screamed that Wright had been shot to the mother via the phone. advocates who support Wright's family are fighting to ensure that Potter does not get her taxpayer-funded police pension. Potter resigned after the shooting instead of being fired. Jonathan McClellan is an attorney who heads the Minnesota Justice Coalition. He is also close to the Wright family. McClellan's group backed the bill introduced in the state legislature last month. It would end the taxpayer-funded pensions for law enforcement officers convicted of felonies. Keep checking back for more updates.